Well, we're making a dining room table. I've had several other projects that I haven't videoed, and I need to start doing a better job of documenting. So this is going to be a 4 foot by 8 foot table. And I just wanted to share basically what I'm doing. We needed a dining room table, and we wanted one that could seat many because we like having people over. But a lot of the big ones are, hard to get, or they're really expensive. And I also just wanted something that looked nice and simple, but also at a good price. So high level, basically this is 2 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood. It's the birch finish. Like I said, 4 foot by 8 foot. And basically, so far where I'm at in this process, all I've done is I've taken the 2 sheets. I kind of picked which side I liked best, and that side is actually on the underside. I put some wood glue just all down here, just thin streaks, probably spaced about 5 inches apart, and then around the perimeter. And then I got nail gun up. So this is 1.5 inch. I got 1 1/4 inch nails. You can kind of see all these like little spots where I just popped it all the way around. I used some clamps over here to kind of keep it clamped together. There was some small warping where I actually did use these screws to kind of, I clamped it and then screwed it so it would hold still while the glue is drying. And now I'm at a spot where, the edges aren't perfectly lined up, so I'm taking this flush trim router bit that I actually used for laminate countertops, and I'm basically just going across here so it's all flush along the side. After that, I'm going to get the sander, and I'm basically just going to go around the sides and sand it, and then we'll pick up from there. I did just want to share this detail. When I'm doing this, the router around the sides, we need to focus. I'm letting the bearing hit this bottom side, so it'll be flush with this bottom side, and I'll probably flip it over so it'll be like this, just so I know for sure it's flush on all sides. The other thing I just want to point out, and this is personal preference, I love the lines of the plywood. I think it looks really cool. The stain and polyurethane will look great. You can do a veneer finish if you want to. That's just up to you, but that's what I'm doing for this project because I think it looks awesome. Alright, so we finished using the router to get all the sides nice and smooth. I used a 240 grit orbital sander to do the sides and to the top and the bottom. This is actually the bottom side that I'm staining now first, just to get a feel for how it looks, how many coats I want to do, kind of the trial and error. And then once I figure that out, flip it over and I'll do the full thing the way I want it to look. But here you can see the stains looking really good. This is why I like those layers. I just think it looks really cool. But I just want to show a little progress update. I think we're just going to do 1 coat of stain, and then we're going to let this sit for 36, maybe 2 days, 36 hours, maybe 2 days, before we put the first coat of polyurethane on it. We finished putting all the stain on there, let it sit overnight. It's 24 hours. Gave it a super light sand, and then we just put our first coat of polyurethane on it. It's that satin finish. I did the sides and the top, so this will be the top of the table. I'm going to let that sit 24 hours, sand it lightly, put another coat on, and I'm going to finish this top and the sides. I'm probably going to do 3 coats total, so I'll let it dry, sand it, let it dry, sand it, 1 more coat. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the underside, and then I'll put the legs on it, and we'll be good to go. So we're putting on the last coat of polyurethane here. I've done 2 coats, and then I just sanded very lightly with the sandpaper, wiped it off with a cloth. And then, like I said, this is the last coat. This coat, before I was using a paintbrush, but this last coat I'm actually using a foam brush. And I'm mainly just doing it just to give like a nice, I think maybe just a smoother coat. And it's just going on really well, making sure I get all the areas. There's no areas I don't get. And then I'm actually going to let this one sit for probably at least 2 days, just so it hardens all the way before I do the underside just for 1 coat. Okay, well, I apologize for skipping the last few steps. I forgot to film it, but I am going to explain just briefly what I did. So after I did the last coat of polyurethane, on the underside, what I did is I had these legs, which I had ordered. I'll have a link in the description. These were very thick, stable legs, and there's 8 places where it would normally screw into the table. But instead of screws, I used threaded inserts. And so I used the leg to line up where the bolts needed to be drilled. I'll have a link of the threaded inserts in the description as well. But I basically drilled a 3/8 inch hole, and then I screwed the threaded insert in to all the places into the wood. Did it on this side and then on the other side. And then all I had to do was just bolt the legs, 1/4 20 bolts. Just bolt the legs straight to the table with the threaded inserts, and it made it so much easier to put together. I'd highly recommend. And not only that, but it makes it way stronger. Just because there's more grabbing that the threaded inserts do. So this is kind of what it looks like on the underside. And then I'll just show one last final look of the top. Man, it turned out really great. Really good. Hope this helped.